So there are a ton of free trading apps to choose from these days, from Robinhood to Webull to M1 Finance, and making that decision can frankly be a little bit overwhelming. And I mean, the stakes can potentially be pretty high. If you're investing a sizable amount of money into the stock market, you want to make sure that the place that you're doing so is going to be around for a long time. It's not kind of a fly-by-night operation. It's not some startup that's going to be out of business in 5-10 years. You want to make sure that your money is going to be safe and secure. And so personally, at the moment, I'm actually working on transferring a sizable amount of my investments from Robinhood over to Firstrade. And so in this video, I'm breaking down exactly why I'm doing that and what you should know about the Firstrade investing app and whether or not it might make sense for you as well. So let's dive right on into it. And before we do, make sure you smack that like button and let me know in the comments below for the YouTube algorithm, what is your favorite app on your phone? And let's dive into the video. So starting off real quick, what even is Firstrade? Maybe this is an app that you've never even heard of before. Maybe you've only ever heard of like Robinhood, Webull, those other guys. Well, Firstrade is actually the longest standing of the bunch. Okay, Firstrade has been around since the 80s, and they are now making a push into the mobile market with their app. So previously, they were more of just like your traditional discount online brokerage, like your Fidelities, your Vanguards, these kind of guys. But now they're making a real push into the smartphone investing space to kind of compete with these guys like Robinhood, Webull, like I mentioned. So they're very similar. They're basically an app where you can buy stocks, ETFs, bonds, mutual funds, and options, all while paying zero commissions on those trades. So just off the bat right there, you can see that they are including more asset classes than some of these other apps. I don't personally plan to purchase either mutual funds or bonds, but if I wanted to do so, I could only really do that on Firstrade as opposed to these other platforms. They're also open internationally, which is a big plus for a lot of investors out there that are not investing out of the US. Robinhood, Webull, these other guys are exclusive to US investors. So Firstrade, while that doesn't really help me at all, it is important to keep in mind that they're available to a worldwide audience. So that's Firstrade in a nutshell. You know, it's very similar to these other trading apps. You know, they've got the mobile interface. It's all pretty much the exact same thing no matter where you go. You're not paying any commissions, fees, etc. And you're pretty much getting what you're getting with everybody else on that side of things. So now let's talk about why I'm actually moving, okay? Because if it's pretty similar to like Robinhood or these other guys, like why am I moving my investments over there? Well, I made this whole video about why I'm leaving Robinhood, and so I kind of needed to find a place to bring my Robinhood investments. And if you want to find out why I'm leaving Robinhood, basically I just don't agree with a lot of the things the company is doing. Yeah, I have a lot of qualms with Robinhood. You can watch that video if you want to find out more. But basically, Firstrade it offers pretty much all the same features as Robinhood. You've got your dividend reinvestment plan. You've got kind of the things that you need to be a good long-term investor are in the platform. So it's got the functionality that I need. It's got a longer track record, which I'm a big fan of, okay, being around since the 80s. I've got a lot of my money with Fidelity, so I tend to lean towards longer, more well-established companies. I also do have some money with M1 Finance, which is another one of these newer startups, but for me personally, I do prefer to keep my money with some of these longer-term brokers just for my personal peace of mind, to know that my money is kind of in good hands. The platforms aren't gonna be out as often. There aren't gonna be as many hiccups, you know, when working with these longer established firms. And additionally, the customer support with Firstrade is going to be, it's leagues ahead of Robinhood, okay? Robinhood has some of the worst customer support on the market right now in terms of these apps. And so Firstrade, having that phone number you can call, having those regular business hours of customer support is a huge plus for me and a lot of other investors. So if you want to have customer support, you're not gonna get it with Robinhood, okay? Just hearing these horror stories of people who have seen their accounts hacked, okay, and they've got money draining out of their Robinhood account and they can't get a hold of Robinhood support, and when they do, they get an email back saying, we'll look into that in 10 days. I mean, like, that's just bananas, you know? So like, I personally don't want to deal with a company like that, because like, if something were to happen to my account, I want a way to get a hold of somebody right now and get that issue resolved right away, so that I'm not watching money draining out of my Robinhood account and being like, oh shoot, I really wish I could do something about that, you know? So for me, it just comes down to kind of like that longevity, that safety factor, and the Firstrade platform. It's more advanced than Robinhood. I mean, you guys know that Robinhood it got popular because of how simple it is. So for me, I do want a bit of a more advanced trading platform. Again, I'm not really an active trader, you know, I'm a long-term investor, but I do like having the additional kind of research and data capabilities that an app like Firstrade has. It's kind of like a happy medium for me between Webull and Robinhood, because Webull is like super technical. Like if you've never traded stocks before, you hop on Webull, you're like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? And Robinhood is like super duper simple, super dumbed down. And so Firstrade's kind of like that happy medium for me, where there's like some of the technical stuff but also it's like a pretty streamlined interface, so you don't have to worry about like trying to figure out how the thing actually works. So that's why I'm leaving, but there are a couple things you should know about Firstrade if you are thinking about potentially moving your account there, opening up a new account there. If you do, you get 3 free stocks if you use the link down below. So think about that if you want to, but there are a couple things that you should know about Firstrade, specifically how they make money, okay? Because whenever you're working with a company, it's always good practice to just know, how is this company making money? Where is their money coming from? Because if they're not charging you any commissions, any fees, any like monthly costs, like how are they making money? They're not a charity, they're making money somehow. And so you should know this. And there's 4 main ways that Firstrade actually makes money. The first of which is they offer margin accounts, and margin is essentially borrowing money from the brokerage to invest. It kind of magnifies your returns as well as your losses, and you're paying interest on the money that you borrow. So if you borrow money from Firstrade to invest with, you're going to be paying interest on that money, relatively reasonable interest. I mean, we're talking like single-digit interest rates, probably around 5 to 6 to 8%, somewhere in that range, okay? So that's the first way to make money, is through margin investing. That's pretty standard across most of the brokerages out there. Next, we've got a foreign transaction fee, okay? So this isn't gonna apply to you if you are in the US like myself, but like I mentioned, Firstrade is an international brokerage, and so they're going to charge anyone outside of the US a 3% conversion fee to convert their local currency into US dollars. So if you're trying to invest with anything other than US dollars, you're gonna be hit with a 3% foreign transaction fee, which I think is relatively reasonable since the other apps don't even offer anything to international folks. The 3% fee is something that you're gonna have to put up with if you are international. Third way they make money is interest on idle cash. So this is pretty standard across all kind of bank accounts and investing accounts and whatever. They're taking that extra cash that's sitting in your account. Maybe you have $100 in your account that you're waiting to invest with. Maybe you've got some dividends that are just sitting there. They are going to take that money and invest it and basically just put it into like low cost treasury bonds or whatever, start getting a little bit of interest on that money. And that's another way that they are able to make money, because like if there's a couple dollars across all of their accounts, that adds up to a lot of money because they've got millions of accounts out there times however many dollars in each account. That's a lot of money that they can invest and start earning some interest on, even if it's a very low rate at this point in time. And then the fourth way they make money is, again, a very standard way across all brokerages, is that they sell your order flow. So this is something that Robinhood does. I'm pretty sure Webull does this too. And most trading apps do this, is they basically work with these market makers, okay? Because when they receive an order, they send it to a market maker, and the market maker typically pays a small commission to the brokerage, in this case Firstrade, for sending the orders their way, directing that order flow to them. So that's pretty standard across the brokerage industry. The commissions are very small for each order, and again, they're paid out to the brokerage firm. It's not something that you are directly paying, but that is the fourth way that they make money. So as you can see, there's not really anything hidden here. There's not really going to be any sizable cost to you unless you are an international investor, in which case that 3% fee has the potential to add up over time. I mean, that's kind of like if you were paying a commission on your trades. But if you're investing for the long term, it's possible to negate that over time. So in essence, Firstrade has kind of become my go-to mobile broker at the moment, just because I'm kind of done with Robinhood. I'm done putting up with the stuff that they are putting their investors through. And I wanted a new app that just had a little bit more longevity behind it, was a little bit more time tested to put my money with. And on top of all of that, they have a really nice free stock incentive program where if you sign up for an account using my link in the description below, you're going to get 3 free stocks just for signing up for the app, which is pretty sweet. Also, if you're watching this video before the end of the year, if you're watching it still 2020, you are going to be entered into a drawing to win one of 20, I believe, iPhone, whatever number one at this point, I'm not really sure, I stopped keeping track, but I think it's a 12. I mean, it's the newest model. So you're entered into a drawing to win, I think it's one of 20 iPhone 12s. Might have to check myself on that and put a comment below with how many iPhones that actually is. But essentially you're entered into a drawing to win some free stuff. And the 3 free stocks are guaranteed. I think you get the first one just for opening the account. You get 2 more if you fund it with at least $100. So pretty straightforward, pretty standard, and one of the better free stock promotions out there. You know me, free stock junkie, so I'm all about those free stocks. And you guys know I wouldn't be talking about this if I did not use it myself. So that's the reason why I'm pushing this here. So again, free stocks down below. And now the next thing you should do is click the subscribe button down below and check out this video over here where I break down my entire Robinhood portfolio that I'm gonna be moving over to Firstrade. You can see exactly what I'm invested in that portfolio and what's gonna be moving on over to the Firstrade account. So make sure you check that out, and I'll see you over there.